Hey everybody, welcome back. Just me out here in good old God's country. Had to pull a few cameras, doing a little scouting for upcoming turkey season. Kicks off here in Iowa. Youth season kicks off April 11th, and then first season Iowa does 4 different spring turkey seasons back to back to back to back. And so I'll go into depth a little more on seasons and stuff on another episode. I'm still having an issue trying to come up with a name of this. I've thrown around a few ideas. Like I said, this isn't really, it's not really a podcast, sort of say. I mean, kind of falls under the same concept of one, but I mean, the only way you're going to find this is to follow me on YouTube and TikTok. Just click on, just search, Colin Connor on TikTok, and you'll be able to see some of the stuff that I post on there too. But actual video stuff, it's all going to just be mainly YouTube and stuff like that. So like I said, I'm just out here on a piece of property. I've got permission to hunt, seeing if I can't find any sheds. But more so, I use this time, this early March, early April time frame, to kind of see what the deer are really doing, because you're able to really tell a lot of information about where they're going, where they're bedded, where they're traveling to, and so I use it as a good point to do a lot of my scouting for deer and turkeys. I mean, I know right here behind me, river's probably about 200 yards, and it runs from here all the way down to there. On the other side of that, the silo, the farmhouse, they roost all over along this river, and they like to come out here to this big old bean field, and also on the other side of this bean field down there by that gravel road over this my right shoulder, that is a alfalfa field. So the turkeys like to come in and out and stuff, but what I've been seeing, I was over there by that grass field, and yeah, there's some turkey tracks coming out on the deer trails and stuff, but nothing like what I'm seeing along the edge of this field. Unreal. I've been hunting out here since 2017, so we're going on, this will be year 8, and this is by far the most turkey sign, deer sign that I have seen. And another thing is I also, I'm just out here walking around, kind of like what people do, looking for sheds, kind of the old school way, no dog, no nothing, just out here walking around. And I've never really found sheds out here, and that kind of tells me, come the late winter months, early spring months, you know, most of the bucks aren't spending their time in this area. So I kind of use that information to my advantage and make appropriate changes and stuff. But I've wanted to take note, you know, like I said, this is going on year 8 and I've been hunting this farm, and I've been doing work on it each year, little bit by little bit. And over my left shoulder here, I've actually got a path cut through that thick stuff. You can see the yellow grass, and then it gets real thick. I've got paths cut through there. Later on I'll show you guys, but those paths are just absolutely tore up with deer tracks, turkey tracks. I mean, any critter that calls this place home is using it. I mean, I've got coyote tracks, I've got coon tracks, squirrels, you name it. And anyways, in another video that I'll end up doing, I'm going to end up planting some of those trails with chicory, so that way we're able to access them year round and not have to do a lot of maintenance on them. Because if we get a heavy rain, everything over my shoulder will end up in water. Oh, so goes to show that paying attention and filming doesn't do any justice here. But the sun's getting bright, you know. There we go. And so I'll be showing you guys kind of what I do, and since I've got you, I can go over a little bit here. We're actually going to build a shooting shack that we can use a gun or bow to shoot out of, and what we'll have planted in it, and kind of why we do what we do. Like I said, it's slippery, but you know, this kind of show how kind of old school I am. I'm coming into a corner, and yeah, that's one of my stands, and I've got a trail. Okay, I'm standing on a trail right off the top of my head, coming out. One just on the other side of that tree, and right next to that small tree right there above my finger. So I mean, that's just old school common sense, inside corner sort of thing. And most of the rubs I have found are right there in that area in the grass. It's a lot of shrubs and little trees and everything, but just a little note for everybody that's like, oh, you got to be 20-25 feet in a tree. That stand is 11 foot off the ground. I've had so many deer walk by me in that tree. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Okay. I'll show you the encounter. This farm had a buck on it we called Crabs, and actually right where I'm standing is where he always came out and entered that bean field behind me. Well, I had an encounter with him in that stand, an encounter with him down by that shooting shack, And then, trying to do this here, down the corner here, I got another stand, and I'll show you guys in another video. That stand's 14 feet off the ground, and I had that buck at 10 steps. And everybody's like, oh, you should have shot, why didn't you shoot? Well, I'll be the first to admit, one, it was an iffy, hard quartering away shot, and I didn't feel like sticking an arrow clear back by his hip to send it into his deal. And two, to me, that wasn't an ethical shot. It doesn't matter if I was shooting a fixed blade or an expandable head, either way. And so, and I mean, yeah, I could have snuck an arrow through the thick stuff, but I didn't want to. Not on a caliber of deer like that, or any deer for that matter. Even if it was doe, I wouldn't have taken a shot. So, but like I said, see all this shrub stuff right here, it's all tore up. Like, I can stand where I'm at looking towards my phone, in a way I can sit here and visibly count 7 different rubs, and that's not counting, it's not counting those cedars that are all tore up too. And so what you're gonna end up seeing though in the upcoming videos is the landowner and I are on really good terms and wanting to keep, you know, the deer herd in this particular area as healthy as possible. And, you know, with limiting the amount of, you know, deer, we try to shoot does every year off of it. I have only shot, in 8 years, I've only shot 1 buck off this farm. And that was an actual management deer. He was only a 6-point and was aged at 4.5 years old. Didn't have much of a rack, had a huge body on him. And I shot him 2 years ago. Otherwise, all I have done is just shoot does off this property, help keep the numbers down. And we're all on, there's actually 2 other guys that hunt this farm with me. And we're all in agreement, you know, shoot the does, keep the herd healthy, and we'll, you know, let some of these young bucks go and, you know, kind of learn, you know, what they do, what their habits are, because at some point they're going to grow into something, because the genetics for 170, 180 and larger deer are in this part of the state and in this area. Just let you know, that shrub right there is just annihilated. I mean, just torn up. And so, but with an area, now you can see there's not much here. Pretty much everything behind me is going to end up becoming a really nice food plot. And I'm in talks with the landowner and the guys around, and we're going to plan a good food source for them. The river is literally right there on the other side of those trees, so I don't got to worry about a water source of any kind whatsoever. And we're debating on, the crop field behind me gets rotated every year, so it was beans. So this year that'll all be corn, which will be awesome. But, you know, if you're a really good hunter and understand things, you know that if you have a bean field or soybeans, something that the deer can't really get a hold of, they'll go to a bean field over a cornfield any day. So we're pretty, I wouldn't say hell-bent, but we're pretty sure it's going to be soybeans, chicory, and probably some Milo sorghum or sunflowers and stuff that we're going to get planted in here. This is going to be one of 3 plots that I end up doing. And I'll show you the other ones. This one that I'm in now, and next to the one guy's shooting shack that he allows me and my boy to hunt out of. We're gonna make this one our primary, you know, to be able to draw them in. And I've been walking down a really good deer trail that comes right down to it. I had a really small one. It was bigger, but for what actually grew, you can kind of see that behind me. That all, I had kale and turnips, and there ain't a turnip or, whoa, it's all real deal. It's all real. So it's all, I mean, the deer just absolutely hammered it. And there's nothing left. I mean, there's nothing left. And the amount of tracks that are in here are just unbelievable. And they're used to the shack there being right there, but we'll end up, they're used to seeing it in here, but we're gonna end up moving it so that way we have the most ample space for it, so that way we can get as much food planted in here as possible. We're gonna end up cleaning up some of that, like that dead tree right there. We're gonna end up getting cleaned up, and then some of that behind me we're gonna get cleaned up. This place got hit with a tornado back in 21, 22. I mean, the guy took a direct hit, so we've been slowly helping him get everything cleaned up. So we're gonna get things cleaned up for him, kind of get it back on track. The guy's a real big he likes coming out and sitting in the stands and stuff, just enjoying wildlife and stuff, and I have no issue with that whatsoever. His kids like taking pictures of the animals and how close they get, so I mean, I've got no issue doing that, and he's got no issue with me now putting in food plots to, you know, help the deer herd out a little bit and everything, since he's heard about all the EHD, chronic wasting disease, all these diseases coming around and starting to pop up in the state. Thankfully, we haven't seen any signs of that around here yet, but I think that's due to good management and, drop my cameras here, good management and quality of food, and making sure that there's enough for them so that way they can stay healthy and be able to get through the rough summer or winters and the dry spells. Get rid of that sun. There we go. So knock on wood for that, but I'll be doing a little bit, get that sun out of the way, here we go. We're going to be doing quite a bit of land management, and like I said, I'll show you guys in videos and exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Mason will be with me, and a couple of my other friends will be with me, helping me out. And I don't have a buttload of money. I don't lease this property. This was all from just knocking on the door and, you know, asking for permission, you know, old school ways. And I mean, I'm not going to give exactly where I'm at in Iowa. I'm northeast Iowa. Then you can go the top 3 counties over and come down 3 counties and over 3 counties. I'm in that part of northeast Iowa. That's all I'm going to tell you. But the stuff on the other side of the river, just to my right here, on the other side of this barn, that's leased out. The stuff on the other side of the road, leased out. But this guy here, you know, I was one of the last few to be able to get on, and he won't let anybody else on, you know, unless, you know, me or one of the other two guys is, you know, hey, we're opting not to hunt it anymore, and then, you know, it's kind of a call list sort of deal. So I kind of hit the lottery jackpot on this one. But just to let you know, I'll try and post the pictures on a short on my YouTube channel of a few of the bucks that got shot off this property, and I think I've got a picture of crabs up on it and some of the other ones. But I'll see if I can't find the actual harvest ones. Um, just give you an idea of crabs. He got shot during Iowa's first gun season, opening day, and by the neighbor on the other side of the bean field that I'm looking towards. He was, they started scoring him a couple of weeks ago, and he is over 160 inches. So, and there's, like I said, there's good genetics out here. If you don't have the genetics, it's really, really hard, you know, to be able to find good deer. And, you know, everybody thinks of Iowa as, oh, you got to hunt the southeast part, or you got to hunt the southwest part, or if you know how to scout for deer in areas, there's a lot of pockets around that hold a lot of big deer in the state of Iowa. And believe it or not, some of the best hunting in Iowa, if you have to hunt public, I will say this much. You guys need to check into the northeast part of the state. And there's a lot of big deer in this part of the state. A lot of big deer. You hear everybody talking about, oh, southwest Iowa or southeast Iowa. I didn't see the amount of deer, yada, yada, yada. Well, what are you doing wrong? Because every part of anywhere within a 2-hour radius from where I'm at right now, nobody had an issue seeing big deer. Not a single one. And there were a lot of big deer that were shot. My dad shot a 13 point that went over 150 inches during first season shotgun, about an hour and a half north of me, with the guys that he with an Amish group that he hunts with. I'll actually get to hunt with those guys this year, so that'll be fun to be able to hunt with my dad again. But yeah, they shot like 4 or 5 bucks that were the 130 to 160 range. There were 2 shot off this farm, crabs that was over 160, and then another one that was about 140. The year before that, the guy shot a 9 point that went about 145. And everybody's like, oh, well, that's not a big deer. Well, it depends on what you guys want to call big. What I call big is anything that would typically make record book. Now I'm not saying 125 inch isn't a small deer by any means, but it's also not an extremely large deer. But last I knew, with a bow and arrow, 125 makes record books here in Iowa for a bow kill. And then I think it's like 150, you know, with a gun. And I can count on my hand right now within a half hour of here. I know of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 13 bucks that were 140 and bigger. And that's literally within a mile radius of where I'm at right now. And some of those were on public ground. and it's public ground that you wouldn't think of hunting. Oh, there's not enough timber there. Well, deer have learned to adapt. They can adapt to anything. And I can tell you right now, the 13 pointer that my dad shot was not shot in the timber. It was shot in a CRP field. It ran and died into the timber, but they kicked him up out of CRP. Some of the big bucks that are shot in central western Iowa, there ain't a timber around unless you're near a river bottom. I've seen a lot of big deer just shot out of fence lines. You just got to know how to hunt them. So, but that's another video for another time. But I'm just kind of rambling here. But anyways, my point I'm getting at is, if you look on Facebook or any other social media platform, everybody's saying, oh, Iowa's going downhill. Iowa's not the way it used to be. Iowa this, Iowa that. Please, that ain't the case. Don't be afraid to come. If you want to come and hunt Iowa and you've got the points and you know you can draw a tag, just come and put in a little bit extra effort. You know, if you're able to come in and make 2 trips before the season and do some really good scouting, come out and do it. All it's going to do is benefit you. You know, just do it. Don't be afraid of what people are saying. You know, and if you're open-minded to hunting different parts of the state, I can tell you, not everywhere got hit hard with EHD. Yeah, there's pockets that got hit really hard. And then there's other parts, like where I'm at, hasn't gotten hit at all yet. So, enough of the little rant and rave on all that deal. But no, I'll keep you guys posted on kind of what I do here. As I'm sitting here rambling on, I'm just kind of thinking of how I'm actually just going to lay this whole area out on how I want it to go, how I, kind of got a visual, and I'm just trying to get it all out before I start bringing I have access to a little landscape tractor that I got a tiller and a bucket and stuff, so we're gonna get some of these trees cleaned up, get some paths cut with a brush hog, and get some of this grass and everything all killed off, and get a nice looking food plot out here and show you guys the progress of it and everything. And also, one thing I want to kind of harp on is, and I'll kind of do it in almost every video if you haven't caught on yet, is you don't need to join all the hype that the hunting industry is putting out right now. Oh, you got to shoot the latest and greatest. You got to have the latest and greatest this and that. You don't. You really don't. I mean, how were big bucks killed 25 years ago without trail cameras and everything else? It was all done by coming out, scouting from afar, kind of like what you would do out west. You get a week hunt and, it's all done off of Onyx and funnels and pinch points and everything else. I mean, that's all I'm doing. I'm just hunting it old school ways. I'm fortunate enough that I can come out here, and walk around and stuff, but I don't walk around out here very much. I'm going to try and have everything done around the 4th of July, and then I won't step foot back out here. I'll quit running cameras, everything, around the 4th of July, because that's going to tell me everything I need to know up until bow season. And that gives this place time to settle down, relax, let the deer do what they want to do. I'll have most of my stands set up to where they need to be. I'll come out Labor Day weekend, double check the stands, make sure, and then I won't touch anything all season. And that seems to be working really well for me. And like I said, in upcoming videos, I'll show you guys that process on what I do and everything, and it works for me. So if it works for me, it'll work for anybody. And I don't have the money that some of these people do, and I don't run cell cameras. I run old school cameras, and the biggest thing that I've learned with being able to keep deer on a property is, you know, less is more. So the less presence that I put out here and let the farmer, landowner do their thing, you know, they get used to it. I mean, I can drive out here during deer season, you know, I could shoot a doe first couple of weeks of bow season, drive out to it, gut it right where it is, come back out, you know, wait a week or two, go back to that same stand and see the same amount of deer and they no effect on them, you know. But it's just kind of what I do. And like I said, I'm very old school. I don't have a lot of money. I don't put my money in towards cameras, all that other stuff. I put my money towards other things that I feel are more important than hunting, like family, vacations, that sort of stuff. Do I shoot a nice bow? Yes, I shoot a nice bow, but I'm gonna this year just to prove to everybody, and a lot of old school guys, you know, my age and older, will sit there and tell you, you know, you can go buy everything from Walmart or Amazon and you can go out and shoot big deer. It has nothing to do with your equipment. Absolutely nothing to do with your equipment. It deals with the knowledge that you acquire up here to be able to outsmart them out here in their world. That's how you're going to kill big deer. You're not going to do it by shooting a $3,000 bow with $2,000 arrows. I'm exaggerating, but you know, you get what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you're shooting a $30 bow you bought at a garage sale and bought your arrows and everything from Walmart. It's understanding what you have, understanding your capabilities as a hunter, and outsmarting them out here. You outsmart them out here, it's game over. I mean, it honestly is game over. Because this is their domain. This is their house. They know everything. They know when things change. And if you're able to outsmart them in their own bedroom, you already won 90% of the battle right there. That's 90% of the battle. Now, am I saying, you know, don't buy the high dollar stuff? You can do whatever you want to with your money. You guys work hard for it. You know, you guys and gals, you all work hard for it. You spend your money on what you feel is necessary. But I can tell you right now, I've got a bow that I'm going to set up. It's a Matthews Reason with the it's a 6.5, 6.5 inch brace. And I'm not going to set it up with the latest and greatest. You know, I'm going to put a cheap drop away rest on it. I do like drop aways. I am going to do that. I'll go through a deal with that. But I'm not going to shoot, you know, I do have a setup that's a limb driven rest, HHA sight, you know. I mean, my one setup that I like to have that I've had for a while now, my first initial investment, yeah, it's probably over $1,000. That's not going to help me shoot a bigger deer by any means. It's not going to help me shoot more deer by any means. What's going to help me shoot more deer is understanding them out here, what they do, why they do it, how they do it, and that's what's going to put more deer in the back end of my truck, is understanding that. And you can go and buy a bow from Fleet Farm, garage sale, you name it. Doesn't have to be a new one. Doesn't even have to be the latest and greatest. But if you practice with it, you can shoot cheapy Allen broadheads, Walmart arrows, by your sight and rest, all that. You watch Dudley and MFJJ, all these guys that tell you how to tune your bow correctly and everything else. You can, by all means, come out and have success and be able to shoot deer. Are you going to be able to shoot one at 70, 80 yards? Maybe. Depends on how much you want to practice and understand your equipment. Do you need to be able to shoot a deer at 80 yards here in Iowa? No. Do you need to be able to shoot one at 50? Maybe. You do everything right, kind of the way that. Now, I'm not saying I do everything 100% perfect, because I don't, but you understand your equipment enough, you can easily shoot deer 20, 30 yards, 40 yards, almost all day long, you know, and be successful. It all boils down to shot placement and understanding your limits. Those two things play a huge role in animal recovery. And it's, I get it. I'm a bow hunter. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I've had bad things happen. I've had real fluke, nonsense, bullshit things happen to me out in the woods. You know, I don't like admitting it. Have I lost deer? Yes, I've lost a couple, but I have found way more that I have shot than what I have lost. And I can count on one hand how many times I've lost a deer in over 20 years and still have fingers left over for how many deer I've lost. And that was all due to absolute fluke things happening. And I will admit, you know, I went out of what cost me my one is I went out of the norm, and buck fever got the best of me. And as I released deer turn, I smacked the shoulder on it, and it was no good. And they ended up shooting that deer during first season shotgun. It wasn't crabs; it was another big one. It was a big 9-point. Would have been the largest deer I've ever shot with a bow. And so it doesn't matter. And I was shooting a fixed blade head too. So it can't, comment wise, oh, all depends on your broadhead. No. I've shot 50 pounds with an expandable broadhead and I've killed deer. I've shot 80 pounds with fixed blade heads and have killed deer and stuff. You can go and buy any broadhead on the market and it will kill a deer. It all boils down to shot placement and how well you know your equipment. You do those two things, understand the deer and how they behave out here, you'll be an extremely successful deer hunter. Extremely successful. And the best thing that I can tell you is read up on articles that some of the guys post, like Dr. James Kroll. He's a good one to follow. All the old bow hunter magazines that are out there. You can learn so much from them. So much. And be successful. So, you guys do all that, you'll have fun. Because it's all about the chase, not about the kill. That's the way I perceive hunting. I could care less if I kill every year. Yeah, I would like to. I'd like to fill tags, but it doesn't always happen that way. So, but until then, guys, peace out, please. Like I said, I know I'm still getting used to all this. I'm still trying to come up with a name. I know this is like video 7 or 8. I still haven't come up with a name, but when I do, I want it to be a good one, for what it really truly means to me. So, here before too long, I will have a name and what I'm gonna call this deal that I'm going on. Like I said, I'm tossing around some ideas, but until then, please join along. Let me show you. Let me teach you. Point you guys in the right direction so everybody can be successful. The only way you're going to be able to help me grow and be able to reach people is, be able to subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like buttons, leave comments. Like I said, Mason's not with me again on this one. He is doing the dad thing today and pouring molds and stuff for fishing and recouping from his first eye surgery. But like I said, if we can help grow, if we can hit 300 subscribers by the 4th of July on this channel, and be able to get him to 300 or more, we're definitely going to be doing a giveaway. He's working on getting some molds poured out with different color options to be able to choose from. And I know he's working on a couple other little things for a giveaway. So if you can help us reach, 300 subscribers on each one, his is Wapsie River Rat. He's doing that deal, so show him some love. And another one of my good friends that I hunt with, he owns DNS Tackle or DS Tackle. He's on Facebook right now. They're pouring molds and stuff, and they've actually got like drink bottles, koozies sort of deal and stuff. So follow him on Facebook. They're ramping up on orders. He's actually going to join me on this at some point. We're going to talk fishing and hunting and stuff. I've known him a real long time. He's also a veteran. So definitely need to show him support. So DNS Tackle, Wapsie River Rat, my deal. Show us some love. If you don't like what we're doing, let us know. We're never going to know unless you comment. So please make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Wapsie River Rat, like, subscribe. Mine. Like I said, just show us some love. We'll be able to help you guys out. We'll show you, kind of the old school ways. And like I said, sorry about the sun all the time. I just keep forgetting about it. This is all real. It's all with me. I'm not doing no fancy editing, no fancy intros, none of that. It's all raw, uncut. I don't have, what you see is what you're going to get, and that's just the way I want to keep it, real and raw. So, like I said, please join in. I'm going to try and drop these videos once a week. If I don't once a week, it's because I've got things coming up. I'll try and do some stuff during turkey season. If you guys want to see, actually an actual hunt or two or something, you guys got to let me know in the comments. Comment, hey, let's see it put into place. Well, let me know. It's the only way I'm going to be able to do it. I do this for fun, for joy, my own personal stuff. It's just what I like to do. So, yeah. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Wapsie River Rat. Like, subscribe, share. DNS Tackle. Like, they're on Facebook. Like, follow them. Comment. So, until next time, guys. See you guys around. Peace out. See you guys on the next one.